Hey, this is Charles Onyett with IGN PC, here to review Gothic 3. So this game begins basically right after Gothic 2. You step off the boat after the events of those games into the continent of, well, the province of Murtana, which is a forested, hilly land. And then to the south you've got Varant, or Varant, or however you want to pronounce it, and to the north you've got Nordmar. And this game world is absolutely huge. Gothic 3 is, like its predecessors, a largely open-ended game. There's no real direction to it, although there are quests and everything you can pick up in towns, but what you do is basically entirely up to you, and that sort of freedom is great to see in a game. The basic core gameplay revolves around going to different towns and building up your reputation with them, getting new quests, and then eventually aiding out one of the larger overarching factions in the game, like the Orcs, or the Rebels, or the Hashishin, or the Nomads, etc. And it's a really good system that gives you a lot of options for customization, and it's easy to tailor the character to how you want to play the game, which is great. Now, despite all of these options, all of these things to do, all this freedom that you have, I mean, you can roam around in the hills, just hunting deer if you wanted to, and just gather up the meat and go cook it and, sit in a town and talk to NPCs. Despite all that you can do, there's a strong focus on combat in this game, and unfortunately that's where it really breaks down, because the combat pretty much sucks in this game. I mean, there's a lot of options for it, but it's amazing how many fights just turn into a left mouse button click fest, because if you just continually click that button, your guy will just keep swinging whatever weapon he happens to have, and it takes down almost, many enemies you come across, like from beasts to humanoids, and then randomly they'll your opponent will get this burst of energy and unleash this sort of unblockable barrage of attacks, and it makes the fighting seem really randomized and awkward. And adding to that, to those sort of complications are basically bugs, where enemies will clip through walls, people don't recognize that you're hitting them. These sort of problems just sort of attack the core of the game, which is that it's supposed to be an immersive experience. It's supposed to be a believable game world, yet you've got this combat that you have to engage in all the time. I mean, there's a lot of combat in this game, and none of it feels realistic. And like the way people react to you in towns, like you can hit some guy in the face a bunch of times, knock him out, but don't kill him, and then he'll get up and give you the same greeting he would have given you if you just would have talked to him in the first place. It just really ruins the illusion of fantasy in this game, which is really too bad, because the game looks gorgeous. I mean, it's a beautiful game. It's got some great environments, really natural looking. There's no loading walking into town, so it's just a nice seamless environment. You get some chop here and there with the graphics, but it ran pretty well on our rig, and it still looks good even if you have to turn down the graphical settings. And yeah, it's just a really integrated universe, and as I mentioned before, it's enormous, so that's nice. Plus, the soundtrack of the game is awesome. I mean, just all of the music just ties into the graphics and creates this wonderful universe that, unfortunately, as expertly crafted as it was, the gameplay is just rife with problems, and just, it's great to look at. It's great to sort of just wander around and admire the scenario and imagine you're a character in this world, but when it comes down to actually playing the game, it's basically just broken and unfinished, unfortunately, which is really too bad. I don't want to sound like I'm saying the entire game's broken here. There's still plenty to do. There's lots of places to explore, and you can successfully, kill and fight enemies. It's just going to be frustrating, and all the technical flaws, like frequent game crashes, really sort of ruin the immersive, crucial aspect of this game. So in that sense, it really prevents you from enjoying what should be the best part about this game, immersion.